All right, Shalom. I want to start by saying, HALAL, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles of Israel, aka the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and love to all the Akim. Continue to preach the truth and all truth and sincerity. All right, real quick. So, I was actually, I was chilling. I just got back to the crib. I was chilling with a brother. We just finished pushing camp, and chilling with a brother. I just got back to the crib, and I was sitting in my car, sitting in the car, just chilling for a little bit, and I was just scrolling through Instagram, and a brother posted that that the U.S. Army has informed U.S. soldiers that's based in Germany to go to food banks. Now, this is in lieu, obviously, as the title reads, government shutdown. U.S. Army tells soldiers to go to U.S. soldiers in Germany to go to the food bank. Now, that's crazy because, with this government shutdown, basically these active military people and whatnot, anything tied to the government right now is not getting paid for the most part. And, the whole thing with the TSA, the military. So, this thing has been on for a while now, and now we're coming to the time where, I know with the TSA anyway, they've missed a couple checks already. All right, so you can see the time, and I'm gonna read the scripture, and Lord, want to be edifying because it made me think about the scripture and in Sirach and the Apocrypha where it talks about a man of war suffering poverty. Because even though they might not be in a very, very poverty state, but it's still you're not getting paid. So you're at war right now, but you're not getting paid. Now, this article I have is from Euro News, credible source. They're a good source, and it says government shutdown. As the title reads, it says government shutdown. U.S. Army tells soldiers in Germany to go to food bank. And it says, starting in the article, it says, U.S. soldiers in Germany may not receive November pay amid the prolonged U.S. government shutdown. Emergency funds covered October salaries, but future payments are uncertain. It says approximately 37,000 U.S. soldiers stationed in Germany face uncertainty over November salary payments as the United States enters its longest ever government shutdown, with the Pentagon warning troops may not receive mid-month wages despite last-minute funding for October. It says U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told CBS News that as of November 15th, our servicemen and women who are willing to risk their lives will no longer be able to receive pay if the budget impasse between Democrats and Republicans continues. So basically, you hear that? You're putting your life in the line for this country. You just won't get paid for it, even though you were promised to get paid. All right? Now, I don't know how the deal goes as far as if there's a government shutdown, you still get paid, as far as signing up for the military. But, all in all, you're still not getting paid. And I don't know if that, you're still expected to do the job same way, I guess, but you're not getting paid. So just like these TSA employees, they out here working, going through the same struggles as going to work, but not getting paid. And that's basically, and what the fuck is that? It said the U.S. Army published guidance on its website directing soldiers in Germany to emergency social benefits, loans, food banks, and food-sharing organizations where volunteers provide leftover food through public fridges. German social benefits remain largely unavailable to U.S. troops, meaning that the soldiers will invariably be left to their own devices. See? So obviously Germany don't give a fuck. And that just go to show that America is a failing corporation, man. Because how is it that you got your soldiers out here stationed in all these places and you're telling them to go to the food banks in these countries, but it said that German social benefits remain largely unavailable to U.S. troops. But you're in the U.S. and you're part of NATO, because Germany is a NATO country. But it's saying, basically you're going to be left to your own device, man. Yeah, fend for yourself. All right? It said, oh, fuck. It says labor law expert Michael Follrott says citizens' allowance is legally impossible for soldiers, usually only in Germany temporarily, while NATO regulations prevent German Social Security provisions applying to foreign troops to avoid double benefits. Okay. It says limited German support exists for parental allowance or child benefit in certain cases, Follrott noted. The finance ministry intervened for approximately 12,000 civilian employees at U.S. military bases, providing $43 million for workers and logistics, catering, supplies, and security, as reported by Euronews. The payment represents a loan the United States must repay once the budget freeze lifts. There's more debt for America. And it says U.S. soldiers received October salaries through emergency funding cobbled from multiple sources. $2.5 billion from summer tax cut legislation, $1.4 billion from military procurement accounts, and $1.4 billion from research and development, according to U.S. media reports. So they had to take money from multiple different sectors or connections to pay the military. And they basically said they're not going to be able to do it this go around. It says an anonymous donor contributed $130 million specifically for soldiers' salaries and benefits. Pentagon chief spokesman Sean Parnell told CNN, with Trump reportedly receiving a donation from a friend. The funding proves critical as fewer than 1 in 3 military families have savings of $3,000, according to Blue Star Families, an initiative founded by military personnel. Do you see that? It says Republican Senator Majority Leader John Thune expressed optimism that senators will agree on the budget by week's end, potentially ending the shutdown that began October 1st. See, all this time wasting, but you see how they go about it? They don't go about it with a sense of urgency, man. Because if they did, they would have been found an agreement to this, man. That's how you know this is all staged. It's all set up by the elites. And who set up the elites? YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. See, they're painting it. They're painting it as, oh, well, you know, we got to come to this. We got about weeks in. But here it is. You got families that's already been weeks without food and not without food, but weeks without pay or surety of pay. And now you're saying another week's in? It said the shutdown forces civil servants into unpaid leave while military personnel await resolution of the congressional budget standoff. Unlike Germany's monthly payment system, U.S. service members receive wages fortnightly, intensifying cash flow pressures during payment gaps. But you see that? Now I'm going to get the scripture real quick. Where you at? There you go. This is the book of Sirach. Oh no, I think it was 26. Okay, it wasn't. Oh shit. Fuck. 20. Damn, I just... Hold up, bear with me. I just had it. Hold on. Hold up, bear with me. Fuck. I know it's in Sirach. The fuck? Bear with me. Man war poverty. 26. 26. I know it's in the 20s, I believe. Hold on. Now let me get that. Should be right there. Here we go. So, this is the book of Sirach, Ecclesiastes chapter 26, verse 28. Now remember, they're saying that these people in the military in Germany, due to the government shutdown, they're telling them to go to food banks. So there's the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 26, verse 28, and it reads, "There be 2 things that grieve my heart, and the third maketh me angry. A man of war that suffereth poverty." A man of war that suffereth poverty. Now, if this continues to go on any longer, these are men of war. These are people that's actively in the U.S. military, And it said they're not getting paid. And basically the U.S. government told the U.S. soldiers in Germany, hey, you're going to have to go to a food bank, man. So imagine that. The country you're putting you're currently putting your life on the line for these fucking people that's not people of war, men of war, are making decisions that has your life in the balance, man. And that's how this goes, man. And that's how you know, like, yo, these devils ain't shit, man. Here it is. You know that the government shutdown is going to affect military pay. Like, they know of all these things that's come of this, man. But they don't care because the government shutdown is not affecting them. We talking about in the camp today. The government shutdown is not affecting the ones that's deciding on if the government should stay shut down. Like, neither the Republicans or the Democrats are suffering because of this shutdown. Because if I'm not mistaken, through all of this, I believe they said that Congress still gets paid, man. So you tell me how that's fair. But you know, this devil's not fair. He don't work with fairness. He don't work with mercy. All right? He works with the bottom line, and he works with greed. All right? But yeah, so continuing on, it says, there be two, Sirach chapter 26, verse 28, and it says, there be two things that grieve my heart, and the third maketh me angry. A man of war that suffereth poverty, men of understanding that are not set by, and one that returneth from righteousness to sin. The Lord repaireth such an one for the sword. You see that? It says men of understanding are not set by, but the point I want to bring out is it says a man of war that suffereth poverty, man, because a man of war should not be suffering poverty. Here it is, this man is putting his life on the line, just like us. The Lord said the righteous have not been forsaken. And what are the righteous? The righteous are men of war, because we're in a spiritual war right now. And the Lord said that and through all this battle with Esau and the high principalities and all that, the Lord said he's going to be with us, man. As long as we keep the faith in him and trust in him. But these people in the U.S. Army and all that, they're not trusting in the Lord. That's why the Lord is allowing Esau to be this cruel to a lot of individuals right now. Because they're not trusting in YAHAWASHI. They're trusting in man. They're going to Egypt for help. And that's why the Lord has this government, has the elites have this government break this place down, man. They know what's going to happen behind this government being shut down, especially for this long. So this is something that's calculated, it's planned, and they're basically using the people as an experiment because they want the people to wild out. They clearly want the people to wild out. So they're about to start pushing people into a corner more and more to where they have no choice but to wild out, civil unrest. And that's what the scripture says. It says what? They should not regard their kings nor their princes, man. There should be sedition among men. This is stuff that causes sedition among men. These are the kind of things that cause the people to not regard their kings nor their princes, man. These are the kind of things that cause uproars in parts of the world, man. So we're coming upon, I think, day 38. I know they said it's almost been 40 days since the government been shut down. So we're going to see how it goes in November, man. Because they saying I think they said what? Oh, I think they said by November 15th. I want to say, yeah, so it says U.S. Treasury, this is an article about the government telling the soldiers to go to the food banks in Germany, that's stationed in Germany. It says, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Benson told CBS News that as of November 15th, our servicemen and women who are willing to risk their lives will no longer be able to receive pay if the budget impasse between Democrats and Republicans continues, man. So it's saying that you put your life on the line, but as of November 15th, you still put that life on the line, but you're not going to get paid. That's one thing the Lord said he doesn't like. It says a man of war that suffered poverty, man. And it's not like, they're getting paid buku money, man. They're getting paid just enough to function and get their, daily bread. They're not living like the military. They're not living like the elites. Hell, they're not even living like these political officials, man. But they're putting their lives on the line every day. And now they say, and November 15th is what? That's in 7 days. It's November 8th, so in 7 days, which I believe that's what? Obviously, it's going to be another Saturday, so that's like next Saturday. Hold on. Yep, that's next Saturday. So it's Saturday now. So next Saturday, and as of next Saturday, if they don't come to an agreement, that means that they're going to start not getting paid, because they said they're using emergency funds to fund the October salary, but they're not going to be able to do that this time, this going around. So we're going to see how this goes. We're going to see how this goes. So as of next Saturday, if they don't come to an agreement, that means that the military, as of now, are going to not get paid. And they told them, like, yo, you have to go to a food bank, man. So imagine the country that you're fighting for and having such a fucking stupid dispute. And now they're saying, like, yo, and due to this, you're not going to get paid as of next week. And I believe they say it was 40,000 people stationed in Germany, 40,000 troops. No, excuse me, almost 40,000. It says approximately 37,000 U.S. soldiers are stationed in Germany. So 37,000 people are about to be at risk of not getting paid by next Saturday. And they're told that you're going to have to go to a food bank in Germany. And I'm not too sure how welcoming they are to these U.S. soldiers. I mean, I know it's a NATO country and all, but at the end of the day, America, it said what? It said the beast shall hate the whore, and Germany is part of the beast. They're part of NATO. They're part of the EU. All right? So we just want to see how this goes. But I just wanted to bring that out real quick. Lord wants to be edifying. I just want to bring that out, and just go to show that the times we're in, it's prophecy, and all these prophecies are coming to pass. All the things that's written in this book are happening, and there's an answer for it in the scriptures. To all the things that's going on right now, the answers in the scriptures, man. So, with that, Lord willing, this is edifying. I want to give all praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, KAKADASH. Double honors to the Apostles of Israel, aka the Apostles of Great Millstone. And peace and love to all the Akim. Continue to preach the truth and all truth and sincerity. Shalom.